the Raven and just like poking at those those siege tanks. I don't know why he's not unsieging them to deal with it. And in the end, we got a massive amount of Vikings from Tarson. You know, landing and then flying up. We got an interesting little Viking war here as Goody is now forced to pull out.
Oh, get out, boys. Turn on that overdrive. Get your freaking siege tanks out there. They're not protected by anything right now. As just Tarson sticking with a ton of Marauders once again, thinking that'll counter these siege tanks. Goody, luckily this point defense drones are down to delay this right now as Goody is sieging up. I don't know if I like this move because of these Marauders come in. Well, the Marauders went the other way, the other direction along the map. We're going to have a huge altercation here on the left-hand side of the map. Goody, I think, has the advantage, though, because he's got the high ground with all those siege tanks building up Marauders as he pleases. But there are so many Marauders focusing down these siege tanks. Oh, just taking everything down, completely melting those defenses. Now there's two innocent Thors. Oh, beautiful, beautiful Thors, but they're getting taken down. Marauders, perfect counter to Thors. Oh no, both of those Thors get taken down. Thor so expensive as those Marauders really coming into play for Tarson. Good job splitting those off, moving those along the left-hand side of the map to go ahead and apply pressure through the back door as he's moving those Marauders into the smiley face zone just as that command center finishes, which means that command center, well, it's lifting off. Will it get away is the question. I think it will, but definitely not going to be able to saturate there, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, absolutely. That was bad timing there for Goody. He kind of moved in and tried to deal with Tarson's, what he thought was Tarson's third expansion down here in the bottom left. But meanwhile, Tarson kind of countered and almost annihilated a lot of Goody's army there. So now Tarson doing the, moving in with his Marauders. He decides he's going to back out. He decides not to engage, but he is just going to kind of hang out. He's going to send a handful to check out and harass a little bit. And maybe they're just set to patrol and kind of hang out. And meanwhile, just look at this map, just swarms of red and purple. There's so much going on this map right now. It is really, really impressive. I'm surprised to see Goody go with the Thors there. They, as you saw, they were really out of position and they just got tore up by the Marauders. So that was more poor timing and a little bit of being unlucky. So they might be a nice addition to his army as long as he can keep them protected. You don't want them getting surrounded by Marauders like that.
No, you don't. Income tab right now, Danny. This is huge. Goody only has 36 harvesters right now, as opposed to Tarson's 81. Tarson just really out-macroing Goody, and as we get in the late game, that is the story. And as far as upgrades are concerned right now, I like how Goody has been upgrading his factory units with level 2 weapons and level 1 plating, as opposed to Tarson, who has 0-0, as well as his infantry units. He only has +1 on the infantry unit weapon upgrades, so that does come into play late game. And I would like to see Tarson, well, I don't want him to win, but I'd like to see him starting to invest some of that massive economy into his upgrades.
Yeah, that would be a good choice. After all, the upgrades can make all the difference. But however, if your army is just massively, massively superior, the upgrades cannot save you. So Goody wants to probably try and get a little bit more units macro up. He's got another expansion going, so that's what he needs to do. He needs to macro up. He needs to play really, really smart and try and hit the economy of Tarson here. You see his harvester count is now at 42. He needs to get that back up and running. Meanwhile, those Hellions have they're checking out the top right, and they run right into Tarson's units. Tarson's got a good job keeping units at the possible expansion points and just making it not making it easy for Goody to to rebuild. You see that you've got 2 Marauders down here in the smiley face zone. You had one up here. They're basically basically they won't stop the him from building there completely, but it will let Tarson know immediately when he tries to build, which in the end is going to allow him to counter that. Meanwhile, we got a little bit of an altercation here.
Oh god, talk about a little bit. Oh my gosh, look at all this siege tank action as the siege tanks really laid down a whole bunch of damage to all those infantry units of Tarson. I mean, he lost pretty much all of those Marauders to that initial siege tank fire. That was a bit of missed micro in my opinion, but he sort of got caught off guard as he was moving around the corner there. And Tarson was at 197 supply, down to 160 in the blink of an eye. And Tarson's harvester count just really dropped down to 57 here recently. That is very surprising, but Tarson is really expanding, and Tarson is getting sieged by Goody right now, as Goody has set up siege tanks here at this top Zelnaga watchtower, and as well as some Thors and Siege Tanks kind of setting up shop here, breaking down these rocks. There is so much action happening around the map right now, I can barely cover it all.
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy. You see Tarson is sieging one of Goody's expansions here while Goody is sieging up Tarson's expansion. It's kind of a battle of the scans here as they see who can harass harder. Tarson's kind of had to pull out. Those siege tanks can hit that, just barely hit the command center. You see the line here, just barely picking it up. That's heartbreaking if you're Tarson, but just delicious if you're Goody. So meanwhile, Tarson's trying to do the same thing. He's not quite close enough. He needs to move in a little more if he wants to deal with that. He's got one in there taking it. Meanwhile, he can't really stop the SCVs. The SCVs have kind of stopped mining to repair, though. So in the end, it is he is succeeding in what he wanted. We'll see if Goody sends any units over there to respond. Meanwhile, you see just look at this fleet of Vikings from Tarson in the bottom left corner.
Oh my god! Oh my god, that is so many Vikings. Maybe not a bad choice, though, if you want to drop, pick up, drop to harass expansions. Tarson has a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases right now, as opposed to Goody's 1, 2, 3. That's really going to start telling stories here as we get into this game. Oh no, god, look at these Vikings. They're just flying across the map again. Where are they going to go? Where do they want to apply pressure? I think they should head on over here to these siege tanks and provide backup over here. This Banshee, nice scan. Gonna go ahead and, just takes out that Banshee immediately that was pumping Tarson's siege tank full of lead. And these Vikings, they're dropping down right here on Goody's money expansion here on the right-hand side. And that is gonna just really just rip deep into the heart of Goody's economy.
Yeah, absolutely. Goody just dropped a ton of mules right there. I think he got a decent amount out of them, but in the end, he's gonna lose that expansion, lose a bunch of harvesters. I was looking at, but we are 45 to 13 harvesters only for Goody. He's got 0 income right now. He has no harvesting bases. This is bad. He is now moving out. He knows he has no choice. I don't think he even has the resources to. He does not have the resources to rebuild the command center. He has He has 1 command center flying around, so he is in a bad shape, and he needs to move out and do some damage to Tarson right now.
And he's like, I sure am, because he's got 15 siege tanks. Moving all 15 in. Oh no, if they get to siege up and set up shop here, this base for Tarson, this orbital command is going to melt. It's gonna melt. And Gozu! All kinds of Banshees getting in here. Oh no, the Banshees! Can these Thors deal with all this air? There is so much air. There is so much air. What are these Vikings gonna do as these siege tanks, just as they set up shop, they erase everything on the map, taking down starports. This is crazy. These Thors need to move in and provide that air backup. And I tell you what, if Tarson lands these Vikings, they are going to get melted immediately. Oh god, look at this fleet. This is mech hell right now. As Goody, if he sieges up these tanks, he will take down the entire town. He does. And let's watch as everything, oh gosh, this is just an insane amount of shells being flown around the map, just shot around the main of Tarson. He's got to be panicking a little bit right now. I mean, what do you think he can do to deal with this?
Well, I don't know. You saw him. He basically broke those rocks. He's like, let's escape out the back here because this is my main. I don't have anything in here. But he does have a lot of production buildings. He is just basically falling back. I don't know. He's got his planetary fortress down here. Meanwhile, Goody finally able to land a command center and maybe do something about it. I don't know what Tarson can do here. He is in a bad way. That force from Goody was just like so surprising and out of control. Well, I think Tarson mismanaged his Banshees a little bit when he moved them in. He just kind of let the Thors pick them off. Maybe he should have done a little more shaking and moving with some cloak action. Meanwhile, Goody now moving in with this army. I thought Goody was in a really bad spot, but he just really proved with this huge mech army. 2 Thors and was that 15 siege tanks?
It is insane. He's still got 15 siege tanks. These 2 Thors, though, they really have to hold up because if these Thors don't live, those Banshees are going to make a huge difference. They're just rolling across the map, dominating. I mean, Goody is. I am smiling ear to ear right now, Danny. Goody is really impressing me. And maybe if Tarson mobilizes those Vikings and just heads them right into the main of Goody. I mean, Goody's main is completely exposed. He can take out all unit-producing buildings if he slides in there. So let's see if he takes my advice as he's moving them across the map right now. And it just seems to me like Tarson's a bit lost as he's trying to mine everything he can over here at this planetary fortress on the left-hand side. And his base here at the bottom, pumping out as many SCVs as he can to try to get that economy back up and running.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing. We're pretty much at no economy for both players at this point. what you have unit-wise is what you get at this point. Once they take out this planetary fortress, Goody has not been able to get back off his feet. I think he's got like 50 minerals and 100 minerals with Tarson, so it's pretty much all down to what's left of the army, which is 2 Thors and 13 siege tanks and 3 Marines versus the Banshee, 15 Vikings, like 7 Marauders and 3 Marines. So I don't know. I think the math is in Goody's favor here, but here we go. This is the final climactic battle.
Oh gosh, these siege tanks are going to melt these Vikings if the Vikings decide to get in the game here. All kinds of Marauders though. The Vikings, Marauders, taking their final stand. Will these siege tanks be able to do anything? There's too many units. Doing a great job of splitting up his units, creating a concave to take down these siege tanks. Oh no! Now these 2 Thors are completely exposed here, but God, the siege tanks on the low ground, making all the difference. Thor is here. He's a sergeant with 12 kills. He's moving into the middle of the base, taking down whatever he can with level 2 weapon upgrades. I mean, that is making a huge difference right now. SCVs forced to come off the line. Oh my God, these players are pulling out all the stops, doing anything they can. Both Thors still alive. Will this make the difference? This is an epic end to the game. I can't believe this. This is just crazy. These Thors now taking down these medevacs. Marauders coming out. Can they get a couple shots off to deal with these Thors? The pressure for the Thors is just too much. At 20 kills and 21 kills, they are definitely heroes. They have earned their bonus and a half. And Goody getting his backup Marines in the game, taking down the remaining SCVs. This is completely epic.
Wow, that was incredible. We end the match with those 2 Thors and 4 Marines for Goody, and that is all he had. You saw Tarson at the last minute just trying to, pump out some mules to just get a little bit of money so he could pump out a couple extra Marines there. So very, very epic, and down to the last unit, really basically no income. Let's look at the resources tab. We got 60 to 100, not 4 harvesters to 12 harvesters. Very, very crazy situation. Both mains and both naturals completely mined out. Just nothing else really mining or getting going there. And look at that, these Thors, they both have about 50 hit points, so I'm going to have to say those upgrades that you talked about earlier, that 1 armor and those 2 damage, really are the the kicker there for Goody, especially in that last battle.
I agree. Honestly, Goody did a great job. I mean, making a ton of siege tanks is generally always a great idea. I think this game, when it came down to unit comp, came more down to Tarson's mistake. That mistake, in my opinion, being getting way too many Vikings. I mean, I think he got way too many. He pumped too much money into those, and his money would have been better utilized with building his own siege tanks or with building anything else, really. I mean, just a handful of Vikings is okay, but a fleet, it ended up being a mistake in the end.
Yeah, I would agree. I think maybe more Banshees would have been the answer.
I agree. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was epic, Danny. That was such an amazing game. I can't wait for Game 3. So if you like what you've seen here, you can head on over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/FTWBroadcasting. Click the blue link here at the bottom if you want to check out our channel. We do Go4SC2 games on a regular basis. Also at the top, click that green link up there. That'll give you our playlist of over 50 ESL games we've done so far if you want to check out other hot StarCraft 2 action. Also, you can click in the middle of the heart if you'd like to subscribe to our channel. Danny does a sick dance every time you click that. So click subscribe. That would make our day. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for Game 3. It's gonna be sick.